Here we are. Work's finally let me get a little bit of free time, and I did get my turn back a little bit ago, probably, honestly, about a week ago. So it's taken me a little bit of time to put this together, but this is the situation. In the south, my opponent has done a pincer strike across the Dnieper River. He's cut off both those cities, so thankfully I won't have to pronounce them for quite a while. He has followed that up with a steady push towards Kharkov and Kursk. My general retreat of 8 hexes does seem to have worked in this region. A lot of these units got a lot of supplies that they much needed. There weren't many battles for me to worry about or to review in this area, not including the obvious mopping up of the remnants of the Kiev pocket, but we all knew that was coming. What did surprise me is his push towards Orel. I thought he was going to turn northward, as he has been doing for the last several weeks, and continue to possibly form another pocket of all my troops in the Smolensk area. I do hold him to about, I believe, 2 hexes from the city. But as I move up into the region southwest of Rezev, the withdrawal I did here does the same exact thing as it did for my troops near Kharkov. I'm in a better position defensively, and it shows with his progressing forwards, but the lack of battles. Unfortunately, that doesn't hold true up near Leningrad. He continues to hit me every single week, and I don't have the ability, even though I'm maxed out in command limit for that front, which is the only one that exists that way. I have no ability to rotate troops up here enough to delay. So it's a steady step backwards. He does sever the railroad line between Leningrad and Moscow, and unfortunately he's able to conquer Tallinn rather easily. These city forts are not proving to be what I was hoping they would be. So as we adjust time forward, this is what I'm facing at the beginning of August 24th, 1941. So taking a closer look at the production screen, looking at specifically the build rates, the level bombers as an example. The PE2, I'm getting 51 a week, 18 for the IL-4. IL-4 carries more bombs, but if I'm not building them as much, I'm probably using them too often in different squadrons. Might want to switch some over. I'd like to actually increase the amount I'm producing, but I don't know if that just happens naturally as the war progresses, or if there's something I can control to do that. Either way though, looking at the state of affairs of my Air Force, it's, with being grounded last week, in pretty decent shape. I'm going to have to bring some more squadrons to the Moscow Air Wing or Air Command. Southwestern's in decent shape. Southern Command could use a few more bombers. Either way, we bring some from the reserves, but this week's mostly recon. A little bit of naval interdiction where I should have expected fighters to show up, but I didn't lose too much here. Yeah, I'm sitting at 22 losses at this point in time. I think it's 56 or something like that for the total for the week, for the entire week. I do have some ground support missions, obviously, so I'll be losing more. But taking a look to the actual ground. Crimea is something that I've been trying to figure out a defense for. I think it's all futile because no matter what I do, they're probably just going to punch through the center there, that ferry crossing. Once they get into here, I don't really think I'm going to have much for Sevastopol. So, I'm not too worried there. Moving northwards to the rest of the southern front. My goal here is to hold the city of Stalina until late September. I'm going to need more units getting called in the next several weeks, because right now I have pretty much mostly cavalry, and all they'll ever do is just cannon fodder. I have been trying to get behind his lines, but he's done a good job of preventing me from doing that, at least so far. But with adding this 51st Army to the southern front, giving it its own color, so for my organizational purposes, this gives me some ability to kind of divide my lines to left and right flank. At least that's the way my mind sorts it out. The Air Command is only instructed to help out the center, the 9th Army, which is the dark purple. So hopefully that mitigates my losses. And with that, I just fall back another few hexes. Keeping up, trying to figure out which direction he does go in. I'm hoping it slows him down there in the town that he still hasn't taken. I doubt it will, but even if it forces like half of those units to use their action points, that'll be fine. I'm expecting him to kind of go north, but I keep saying that, and he just keeps heading east. So we shall see whenever I get my turn back which direction he goes in this area. In the Arel area, his maneuvering has cut off some of my units. This will force me to continue in my retreat, but it will also make him make a decision as well. Now this is the area of the map where I did the majority of my reconnaissance. So I think I know what I'm facing in this area. So his choice is going to either be to move northward, to continue to cut off these rifle divisions, or to continue his assault on the city of Arel itself. All things considered, at the end of this turn, I am alright if he makes either choice. But I do think if he chooses to go east, that will provide the least amount of resistance from my side. Realistically, though, there is no chance of me holding the city of Arel. My other main plan in the area, with the new units that I did receive from myself last turn, pulling out of the reserve pile, bring them into the 13th Army, kind of slide it eastward, and then fold everything back as I move up northward towards Leningrad. There's not much saying that he can take any of these units, specifically as you get up northeast of Velikoluki. It's just too much terrain. So it would make more sense to take a better approach, use less units to guard more miles of the front, and then that allows me to use, I forget the number for the red division, but I got the 13th Army, whatever the light pale green one, all of this in this area to actually defend Moscow and allow those militia that are up there digging in to finally get off into, like, I was hoping they'd be at level 3 forts by now, but that's apparently not going to happen. I don't know, time will tell on that one. And now we have the area of Leningrad. And like I said earlier, this area is desperately looking for just like a week of no combat. Unfortunately, every week or every turn that I get, this is the area that has the most amount of air power being used by the Axis, and every other hex sees some form of combat. So these units are exhausted, and there's a little bit coming to help. Might send more. I haven't made a decision on where. I have 3 units that spawned at a city far to the north. I did not deploy them on rail this turn. Not saying I forgot, but I did. I'm not sure if I'm going to send them to Leningrad or if I'm going to send them to Moscow to defend from whatever happens if Leningrad falls before, I guess, Christmas. So I'm going to try something different. We're now staring at the beginning of turn 10's image, and you can see the situation that my forces were facing, and then you can see a transition to everything that I've done to maneuver myself into the end of turn 10 to get ready for what will be, hopefully an exciting turn 11. So I'll send it back to my opponent, and if everything goes my way, I'll have a little less hectic of a work week. Or 2, and I'll be able to get my turn back and actually process my side of it a little bit faster.